start out with telling me about Grandma and Grandpa, like the type of people they were, about their personality.
Well, Grandma and Grandpa, I thought they were very different from each other. And Grandpa was very outgoing and very friendly and talkative and direct, and would tell everybody exactly what he thought of everything. And Grandma was really outgoing with her family too, and she was also very friendly, very family oriented, and very enjoyed her family very much. She wasn't as outgoing with people outside of the family. She was a little bit more reserved and more nervous about going into those kinds of situations.
How did the people in the in the community view Great Grandpa?
He was a political figure. You know, everybody. It seemed like everybody really liked him and respected him, and he was, you know, he could talk to anybody. Everybody, you know, seemed to enjoy his company. He just he could. What I remember is at his funeral, how Reverend Kriger, who was the pastor at the time, would talk about how when he walked into a room, the entire atmosphere changed. He was very charismatic, and you know, he's able to light up a room and talk to anybody. And in fact, he had said that his wife had said to him, because she had gotten to know Grandpa, that his wife had said that when he came walking into the room one time and he kind of lit up the room like that, she said to Reverend Krieger, "Isn't he just something? He is just really something, isn't he?"
What do you remember about like your aunts and uncles? What type of people are they?
Oh, they're very talkative and friendly, outgoing, kind of like, you know, Grandma and Grandpa were, but different. Each one is different. Each one has their own personality. So,
So tell me about growing up on the farm.
well, you know, it was different than it is today. It's things weren't as materialistic then. I was growing up in the 60s, the late 50s and 60s and 70s, and we just didn't have as much as we have right now. And I remember milking the cows. I would go out at very young age, at age 10 years old, and learn to milk the cows. And I eventually was able to milk all the cows by myself. And I did that few times, and was pretty proud of that. And I never minded that as being a chore. I just accepted that as part of the daily life. And just being outside a lot and playing outside on the farm and hauling the bales. And you know, we went out, sometimes we helped pick the rocks. It was way different than how we pick rocks today. And hauling the square bales, everybody went and did it together.
How would you get to school?
We went on the school bus, just normal, got on the school bus until we got to be teenagers. And then, you know, remember having my own car and going to school. You know, once I had a driver's license, I would take my car to school, and did it that way then.
Is there any other stories you'd want to tell about?
Well, I can't think of anything offhand right now. Just as I mean, there's lots of stories, you know.
How did the German language play into your life?
Oh, well, you know, I remember Grandma and Grandpa talked the language a lot. You know, my grandma and grandpa, your grandma and grandpa, my mom and dad, my grandpa did, you know, sometimes, you know, not as much as grandma and grandpa, but you know, you kind of grew up hearing it here and there, and so you kind of learn to understand it, but I never really learned to talk it.
So how do you explain that, being able to understand it but not being able
It's a very hard language to verbalize. You know, it's different than the English language in that, you know, you have to use your mouth differently, or I don't know. It's just hard to explain.